Try looking at life in a very different way. Perhaps, the universe isn't outside of you. Perhaps, it's reflecting your inner state of consciousness. Everything you call life, every experience, every emotion, every event, is essentially like a stage. And on that stage, each thing is silently competing for something incredibly precious, your attention. Just like planets orbiting the sun, your thoughts, feelings, perceptions, and sensations can only function when they are energized. And that energy comes from where you place your mind. What you look at for a long time grows. What you think about a lot becomes more distinct. What you constantly feel gradually becomes a vibrant reality in your inner world. Perhaps the greatest power of humanity doesn't lie in controlling everything that happens outside, but in choosing what to give that energy to. And the moment you understand that, you are no longer someone being swept along by life. You begin to become someone who is silently shaping your own reality. Not everything that happens in life has to become a part of your experience. An event might occur, a word might be spoken, a sadness might touch you, but only when you continue to hold on to it with attention will it truly take root in your mind. This is something very few people realize. Events and experiences are not entirely the same. Something may have happened, but how long the experience of it lasts, how strong it is, whether it leaves a lasting mark, depends heavily on whether you continue to nourish it with your energy. When you constantly return to a pain, relive a disappointment, repeat a fear, you are unconsciously telling your mind, "This is important, hold on to it." But when you choose not to give more energy to negativity, it doesn't mean you're running away from life. It means you stop allowing it to define your inner frequency. And sometimes, healing isn't about fighting the darkness. Healing is about stopping giving light to what no longer deserves to exist in your mind. It's often said, thoughts create reality. But perhaps that's not entirely accurate. Thoughts, in themselves, are just fleeting signals. They appear and disappear. They come and go. They drift through your mind every day like clouds across the sky. What truly makes a difference isn't whether a thought appears, but whether you choose to nurture it. Every thought is silently asking you a question. Do you want to give me energy? And in that moment, you always have the choice. You can say yes to beautiful belief, to hope, to love, to peace. But you can also say no, thank you, to negative, limiting, and burdensome thoughts. That's when you realize you are not a victim of your mind. You are the one who decides which thoughts are allowed to remain. The universe, if it truly listens to you, will not respond to every fleeting thought. It responds to where you are channeling your energy. And so, your conversation with the universe never begins with words. It begins with a very quiet choice within. What will I fuel? If you relate to what you just heard, please leave a comment below and join us for more videos. To speak to the universe, you must first understand one crucial thing. The universe is always listening, through your attention. From the moment you entered this world, life seemed to ask you a very simple question. What do you want? But the answer doesn't lie in the words you utter. It lies in what you constantly think about, what you react to most strongly, what preoccupies you, scrutinizes you, excites you, frightens you, or immerses you in every day. Attention is not just the act of looking at something. Attention is a flow of energy. And where there is energy, there is life. Where there is repetition, there is amplification. So the real question isn't, what do you wish for? But rather, what are you nurturing with your mind today? If you focus solely on your lack, you are amplifying it. If you constantly live in anxiety, you are fueling your anxiety. If you keep your mind focused on gratitude, on faith, on a more positive outlook, you are sending a completely different signal. To change your life, sometimes you don't need to start with a big action. Just start by honestly looking back. Where is your attention? Imagine your mind as an orchestra. Many sounds coexist within it. Fear, belief, memories, hope, anxiety, desire, peace, all resonating together. And you are the conductor. You cannot stop every sound from appearing. But you can decide which sounds will be amplified, which sounds will be suppressed, and which sounds will no longer be allowed to lead the symphony of your life. Every time you focus your attention on something, you are telling life. This is important. Let's make it bigger. Every time you withdraw your energy from something, you are sending a different message. I no longer choose this. That's why, in the same circumstances, two people can live in two completely different worlds. Not because the realities are so different, but because where they place their minds is different. Your life, in a sense, is a symphony composed of what you repeat with attention each day. And perhaps, maturity isn't about controlling everything around you. Maturity is knowing when to listen, when to let go, and when to bravely reclaim the baton from the chaos within your own mind. There's a very profound principle. The universe doesn't live for tomorrow. The universe only lives for now. The past is memory. The future is imagination. Only the present is where energy truly operates. So when you keep saying, "Someday I will be happy. Someday I will be successful. Someday I will have everything," what you are confirming, most likely, is, "Right now, I don't have it." And it is that feeling of not having it that is being amplified. If you want to communicate with the universe in a language it understands, stop living in a state of waiting. Don't just hope for a better future. Start touching the energy of that in the present. Don't speak as if you're standing outside the door of your life, begging for what you want to enter. Live as if you've already begun to step into it. Because the moment you are truly present with a feeling of fullness, peace, worth, or strength, you are no longer the one asking. You become the one emitting the frequency of what you want to receive. And sometimes, that is the moment when reality begins to move. There's a huge difference between wanting something and becoming it. Many people spend their lives waiting for happiness, waiting to be qualified to feel confident, waiting for the right moment to feel worthy. But the longer they wait, the more they radiate the energy of emptiness. The true scenario of transformation isn't about how many times you repeat what you want. It's about whether you can step into that feeling right now. Do you want to be loved? Start living with the feeling that you deserve to be loved. Do you want success? Learn to feel the rhythm, the aura, the beliefs of someone who has succeeded. Do you want peace? Don't wait until everything is perfect to allow yourself peace. Learn to touch peace even when things aren't perfect yet. Because external reality often comes later. It's the shadow of a state already formed within. And perhaps, the secret isn't about pulling what you want toward you. The secret is becoming a version of yourself that resonates with it. The moment you stop standing afar and yearning, but begin to live as a part of it, you stop chasing a new reality. You are stepping into it. Life isn't as simple as it often seems. It's not just a series of random events. It's like a complex game, where there are invisible rules, deeper layers of meaning, and variables that we can't see if we only live by unconscious habits. People with narrow consciousness often only see the surface. They react to everything immediately. They are easily swept away by emotions. They live as if life is a chaotic current they are forced to fight against. But those who begin to expand their consciousness see things differently. They see recurring patterns. They see beliefs guiding behavior. They see emotions not just as emotions, but as signals. They see that in the same situation, there are always many different ways to respond. Expanding your consciousness doesn't distance you from life. On the contrary, it helps you engage with life more consciously. It's like playing a game of cards, but for the first time, you begin to understand the rules. You're no longer led astray by ambiguity. You see more clearly. You choose better. And you begin to realize that true freedom doesn't come from things being easy, but from understanding where you stand in this game. The moment you begin to see life with awareness, something huge happens. You no longer feel like you're just being tossed about by fate. You begin to see that you always have choices. Perhaps not the choice of circumstances immediately, but certainly the choice of how to see, how to react, how to give energy, and how to define what is happening to you. That's the difference between someone living unconsciously and someone who steps into the role of co-creator of their own life. An unconscious person often says, "Life made me this way." But a more conscious person will ask, "What part of me is this awakening? And how will I choose to respond to it?" That single question alone is enough to change the course of your entire life. Because from the moment you stop seeing yourself as a victim of the past, of external circumstances, of other people, or of old wounds, you begin to reclaim the power that has long been lost. And perhaps, the greatest freedom is not living in a perfect world. The greatest freedom is realizing, in this imperfect world, you still have the ability to choose how you are present. That is when reality no longer writes your story for you. You begin to pick up your pen again. There is a kind of intelligence that doesn't go through words. It's not noisy. It doesn't argue. It whispers through bodily sensations, through intuition, through subtle signals that we often miss. It's your inner guidance system. When something truly aligns, you usually feel lighter, more open, brighter. When something deviates from its true nature, your body knows it too. It contracts. It tires. it feels heavy, it feels uneasy. The problem is that many people have become so accustomed to living in the noise of their minds that they forget to listen to their inner signals. We learn to analyze things, but forget to feel. We try to explain things rationally, but ignore what our hearts are silently warning us of. Logic isn't always wrong, but logic isn't always enough. There are paths that seem right, but deep down you know they don't belong to you. There are also things that can't be clearly explained, but every cell in you feels. Here it is. Listening to yourself doesn't make you weak. It makes you more authentic. And in a chaotic world, sometimes the most reliable signal comes from the quietest part of you. There's a subtle lesson you must learn if you want to walk the right path. Not every pleasant feeling comes from your inner truth. The ego knows how to tempt. It knows how to make things seem appealing. It promises you the feeling of victory, superiority, recognition, attention, and quick gratification. But after all, what it leaves behind is sometimes just emptiness. True resonance, however, is different. It's not necessarily always loud or dramatic. It often brings a more peaceful, deeper, and more authentic feeling. It brings you closer to yourself, rather than forcing you to pretend to be someone else. What comes from the ego often gives you temporary exhilaration. What comes from true resonance brings lasting peace. So, don't just ask, does this make me feel good? Ask yourself more deeply, does this truly open me up? Does it make me more authentic? Does it bring me closer to the person I want to become? That's a more mature level of listening. And only when you learn to distinguish between the noise of the ego and the call of the soul, will you truly know where you should go. There's a subtle lesson you must learn if you want to walk the right path. Not every pleasant feeling comes from your inner truth. The ego knows how to tempt. It knows how to make things seem appealing. It promises you the feeling of victory, superiority, recognition, attention, and quick gratification. But after all, what it leaves behind is sometimes just emptiness. True resonance, however, is different. It's not necessarily always loud or dramatic. It often brings a more peaceful, deeper, and more authentic feeling. It brings you closer to yourself, rather than forcing you to pretend to be someone else. What comes from the ego often gives you temporary exhilaration. What comes from true resonance brings lasting peace. So, don't just ask, does this make me feel good? Ask yourself more deeply, does this truly open me up? Does it make me more authentic? Does it bring me closer to the person I want to become? That's a more mature level of listening. And only when you learn to distinguish between the noise of the ego and the call of the soul, will you truly know where you should go. A crucial truth is, the subconscious mind has no moral filter. It doesn't automatically filter out negativity. It doesn't know what constitutes limiting beliefs, old wounds, or outdated narratives. It only retains what is repeated most often. This means you are responsible for what enters your mind each day. The words you say to yourself, the content you absorb, the conversations you get caught up in, the stories you tell about the past, the conclusions you draw about yourself. All of these are becoming the building blocks of your inner world. We are often careful about what we put into our bodies, but very careless about what goes into our minds. We allow fear to repeat itself. We allow self-denial to linger for too long. We allow old beliefs to sit firmly in the center of our minds. And then we wonder why life remains unchanged. To change from the root, you must begin to become selective. Not extreme, not feigning positivity, but being aware enough to know what is nourishing you, and what is silently destroying you from within. Because no one can protect your inner world better than you. You can stand in front of a mirror and say 100 times that you are confident. But if you don't feel that feeling inside, those words will only skim the surface. The power isn't in the sound that comes out of your mouth. The power lies in whether that statement gradually becomes a lived experience within you. If you want to go from insecurity to confidence, don't just recite an affirmation like a machine. Slow down, breathe, let yourself feel, even just a little, the feeling of someone who no longer doubts themselves. How does it move? How does it see life? What energy does it use to communicate with the world? When you repeat the positive with genuine emotion, your subconscious begins to hear. And when your subconscious begins to believe, your behavior will change. Your gaze will change. Your way of walking will change. Your choices will change. You don't need to become the perfect version of yourself immediately. You just need to stay true to the version you're building. Because every great change begins with very small vibrations, repeated long enough, real enough, deep enough. to eventually become the new person you once thought you could never reach. Finally, perhaps the most profound thing you need to remember is this. You are not separate from the universe. You are a part of it. And so, talking to the universe isn't about looking outward to beg some distant power. It's about turning inward, listening to the higher part of yourself, and then living in accordance with what you truly want to become. The universe reflects you. Life reflects you. Reality reflects your inner state. If you are chaotic inside, the world can become a labyrinth. If you are clearer inside, life begins to open other doors. So, instead of just trying to fix the circumstances, start by taking care of your inner self. Purify the old. Let go of the burdens. Return to mindfulness. And choose where you place your energy each day. You are the artist. Reality is the canvas. Consciousness is the brushstroke. And your life will gradually become a painting of what you persistently cultivate from within. Then you will understand. The universe has never been silent to you. It's just that until now, you haven't truly heard your own voice. If you found this video meaningful, please like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more content about healing, awareness, and inner strength. And if you want, leave a comment below with a short sentence. I'm choosing my energy again. It's not just a comment. It could be the moment you start a new conversation with yourself and with life.